Hidden behind towering cliffs in the deserts of Jordan lies a city carved entirely from stone. A city so advanced, so impossibly engineered, that archaeologists still debate how it was built. This is Petra, the ancient metropolis known as the Rose-Red City, forgotten for more than 1,000 years. And according to Wikipedia and UNESCO, Petra was once the capital of a wealthy empire that controlled trade routes stretching from Arabia to the Mediterranean. But the deeper you look, the stranger it gets. Because the people who built Petra, the Nabataeans, left almost no written history. Their language is barely understood. And the reason for the city's sudden collapse remains one of archaeology's most enduring mysteries. Stay with me, because halfway through this episode, a twist will completely change how you view this lost civilization. In 1812, a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt disguised himself as a local traveler and ventured into a narrow canyon called the Sick. As the walls tightened around him, something impossible came into view. A massive temple carved into solid rock. According to National Geographic, this structure, known as Al-Khazna, or the Treasury, is more than 40 meters high and carved with perfect symmetry, all chiseled by hand. But this was only the beginning. As Burckhardt walked deeper into the valley, he realized Petra wasn't a shrine. It was an entire city hidden in the desert. Palaces, tombs, water channels cut through mountains, amphitheaters that could hold thousands, all carved directly into the cliffs, as if the mountains themselves had been shaped into architecture. But one question refused to go away. Who were the people capable of creating this? Archaeological research published by the Smithsonian reveals that Petra was built by the Nabataeans, a nomadic tribe that somehow created one of the most sophisticated cities of the ancient world. By the 1st century CE, Petra had become a global trade hub connecting Arabia, Egypt, Syria, and the Mediterranean. Camel caravans carried frankincense, spices, gold, silk, precious stones, and Petra grew wealthy beyond imagination. But the true genius of the Nabataeans wasn't their wealth, it was their engineering. They built hydraulic systems that still function today. Gravity-fed water channels, massive cisterns, dams and aqueducts, flood control tunnels carved through mountains. According to a study in Antiquity Journal, this system allowed Petra to thrive in one of the driest regions on Earth. But something strange appears when you examine the timelines. For decades, historians believed Petra was built in a single era. But according to the New York Times, new radiocarbon dating shows something surprising. Petra wasn't built once. It was rebuilt again and again after major disasters. Massive earthquakes struck Petra multiple times across centuries. And here's the twist. The city's greatest monuments, including its iconic treasury, may have been carved long after the city's population began to decline. Meaning its most famous structures might not represent the city's peak, but its attempt at revival. Let that sink in. Petra's golden age may have happened after its downturn. A civilization trying to reassert itself by carving immortality into stone. If you missed that, rewind 20 seconds. It changes how we view Petra's entire history. Recent excavations documented by the Jordanian Department of Antiquities have uncovered structures that challenge the traditional story. Beneath the sand, archaeologists found a massive temple larger than a football field, a sophisticated garden complex with imported plants, intricate drainage systems, tunnels carved deep into the mountains, unknown cultic structures tied to ancient desert gods. They even discovered a monumental platform that may have been used for ceremonies or political gatherings, suggesting Petra was far more than a trade hub. But the strangest discovery lies in the inscriptions. The Nabataeans left hundreds of carvings, but most are not historical records. Their names, prayers, symbols, almost nothing explaining their rulers, their politics, or their beliefs. A city that carved itself into stone left almost no written explanation. which raises a question historians still struggle with today. If a civilization capable of carving entire mountains into temples left almost no written history, what else might be hiding out there in places we never think to look? Comment more than we know if you believe the world still holds cities we haven't rediscovered yet. Even after centuries of study, Petra refuses to give up its secrets. Some archaeologists believe changing trade routes weakened the city. Others point to devastating earthquakes recorded in geological layers. Some even argue that climate shifts made the region uninhabitable. But none of these fully explain why the Nabataeans vanished so completely. No migration records, no surviving cities, no clear descendants, just silence. What remains is a reminder of how fragile greatness can be. Petra shows us that even the most advanced civilizations can disappear, leaving behind monuments that outlive memory. The Nabataeans carved their world into stone, yet their story eroded into mystery. Petra is a chapter of history that feels impossible, a city hidden in mountains, carved by a people who mastered the desert, then slipped into obscurity. If stories like this fascinate you, forgotten empires, lost cities, mysteries carved into rock, then stay with this series. Not to boost numbers, but to join a community exploring the parts of history most people never hear about. New episodes of Hidden Chapters are on the way. And the next one takes us somewhere even older and even stranger.